Just in case you've been living under a rock for the last 40 years or so, there's a marked difference between movies and the real world. Take, for instance, my martial arts sword here. Oh, it's sharp and all, but the worst thing this weapon has ever seen is being left in the car overnight. Compare that to this sword, a genuine World War II Japanese officer sword. I cringe at the things it went through or were used to do by a brutal military power. In the same way, that's what I appreciated about the movie Risen with Joseph Fiennes. He played the part of the Roman tribute Clavius. This fictitious officer showed up just as Jesus Christ was dying on the cross. Now, this movie is not for little kids in Sunday school. Why? Because it had a gritty reality to it. No fancy sparkling sets, dust, lots of dust, people seemed preoccupied with just surviving the day. That seemed like an accurate portrayal of first century Jerusalem under the brutal rule of a military power. Clavius had been appointed to find the dead, rotting body of Jesus that had, in its personal supervision, undoubtedly died on the cross. The problem was that the body had disappeared from the tomb, a guarded tomb, matter of fact. Clavius had no doubts that Jesus' followers had stolen the body in order to start a cult following, a following that would grow into a nuisance for the mighty Roman Empire. There's only one problem for Clavius in the movie. He went to the upper room and personally saw the risen Jesus Christ. Talk about blowing his mind. Can you imagine if you were a hardened Roman soldier who have seen the brutality of war so many times that it became part of you, a horrible part, and now you see a dead guy back alive? Dead enemies just don't show up walking and talking. So later on, the scene changes where Jesus was talking to Clavius on a dark Galilean beach. Jesus asks him, "What frightens you?" To which this tough soldier replies, "Being wrong." Being wrong? What? But Jesus knew exactly what he meant. Even now, in the very presence of the risen God, Clavius had to face the reality of everything he knew, even if it ran counter to the horrors he had seen, and especially that life ends at death. This is why Jesus then asked him what he wanted. Clavius answered, "Certainty, peace, a day without death." Is that you? Are you Clavius? Maybe you've seen the horrors of real conflict, hearing the sound of a grown man's fear of dying, or maybe you never even got lost in the woods. Yet no matter which one it is in your world, you have the same bite of gritty reality. Deep inside you, you crave for certainty about the first 2 seconds after your eyes close in death. But even more than that, you long for peace, a real peace here and now. I am not a Christian because it makes my life all comfy and cozy. No, it's because I find the words, the very person of Jesus Christ, to make so much sense in light of the dismal reality of this life's horror, and even more scary, the claim that everything is meaningless. I invite you to encounter the risen Jesus for yourself. You cannot go to the actual upper room in history long ago, but you can go there through the words of the Gospel of Luke. Check it out for yourself.